Well, happy Saturday to you. I'm out for a walk and I'm taking a different route. Over the direction we're looking right now is the direction that I typically would go, but I learned a new path from my friend Dick, so we're going to go that way. And even the seagulls are excited about it, right? The river is so calm, isn't it? You just wouldn't think it was a river, it's almost like a lake. So this path we're going to go is probably about 3 times longer than my usual path. Something like that. You can see our big town here. We've got a Dollar Tree. That means that we've made it. Yeah, we have. And an O'Reilly's. And a McDonald's. And a Quick Trip. Holy mackerel. And this is the exercise equipment that you saw some of the still shots of. This is where I do some of my stuff. And I'll just let you enjoy the walk. If you come to Oconto, we can go miniature golfing. Look at that. Hey! And that used to be, that empty building over there, used to be a Shopco. And like most of the Shopcos, they closed. But they've been taking the outside branding off of the building, so I'm thinking they're getting ready to do something with it. It's a big space. And if you hear like a little rattle, I carry my vitamins in a little plastic container in my pocket, and it gives me a rhythm to walk by. So eventually what they're planning on doing is they're looking at building a bridge, and it looks like they've almost reached the goal. When I arrived in Oconto, they were probably like right around here. So there's been some progress. And the bridge is going to go from the little park that we walked past where the exercise equipment is over to the campground. So it's going to basically go over the river here so that people from the campground can cross over and people from this side can cross over to the campground. So there you go. Our little welcome sign, like a lot of the cities will have. Kiwanis, American Legion, Elks, all the other good stuff. And like all over the country, there's a staffing shortage. Even here in little Oconto, where if you want to work for whatever company that is right over there, they're starting you at $19 an hour. Now, any of you that are from about the same era as I am, you know that back in the day we worked for a lot less than that. I believe the starting wage when I started way back in the day as a 14-year-old, and if some of you don't know it, my first job as a 14-year-old was working in a bakery, and I was the grunt guy that when all of the folks making the stuff would be dropping the dough and smashing the dough into the ground and all of that. I was the guy that would get down on my hands and knees and scrape it up and scrape the pans. But you know what? I got a lot of free bakery out of it, even though I was probably only earning about, gosh, what was it back then? $2.85, $3.15, something like that. Yeah. Oh, we've got some competition. We've got a biker. Do any of you like getting out and going for walks or going biking? Maybe some of you are joggers or runners. Morning. You can see a sign right there, no motorized vehicles on the paved trail. Violators will be prosecuted. I love it. We're safe. We can only get run over by bicycles. Yay! That's a tiny little house, isn't it? I think the garage is bigger than the house. Huh. Well, it's somebody's home. And there's people that pay a lot of money to go to cottages on lakes and stuff that are probably a lot smaller than that. So this path that Dick showed me is going to take us parallel alongside the highway. So you'll be hearing some highway sounds. And we'll go over a little bridge that kind of goes over the Oconto River. And we'll just continue this path. See that? Quite a bit of industry in Oconto. Oconto, if you don't know it, used to be, they did a lot of lumbering here. They had mills. And obviously, you know, they have cruisers, yachts now. Other small type businesses. It's a quiet little area right here, residential area. When Dick showed me this path the other day, we walked through here, and he was saying how he wouldn't mind. He and his wife, before she passed away, they had lived out in the country for quite a while, and then they got a small apartment in town. He said, boy, I wouldn't mind getting back out into the woods again. He kind of pointed at that house over there. Remember that quote that I've given you before? We're never old until regrets take the place of our dreams. So, if you have any dreams, maybe it's moving to the country, maybe it's moving out of the country to another country, do it. Do it. Yeah. So right over that little ridge right there is the highway. You'll hear some cars buzzing by. It's kind of what they sound like. Some pretty wildflowers over there on the hill. You can see here, no cars or trucks allowed. This is called the Copper Culture South Trail. The trail is open to blah, 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 blah. There we go. I think we're okay. Good morning, birds. Good morning. It is I, the Walker Dude. Now, those of you that are really smart on flowers, are these called black-eyed Susans right there? We've got those, we've got these over here. Yeah, I think they are. They might be. Nice circular driveway. Aren't circular driveways great? Even as a kid, because you never can get lost. You always end up at the same spot again. Oh, number 6. Oh, and I can hear birds in there. Yeah, I better move. There's babies in there. I'll get bombed. I'll get like dive bombed by the parents. Now, Dick explained to me that this little passageway, whatever it is, that goes underneath the highway, actually leads to the Catholic cemetery. Morning. And he will go there pretty much every day to see his wife, visit his wife. She passed away last year, as you know. It's a pretty little area over there, isn't it? Such a contrast. This over here, and then up here, you got the highway. What a contrast. Kind of see the way we've come here. Those are even pretty, aren't they? I have no idea what they are. They're kind of flowering, aren't they? There's the sun starting to come up. Shouldn't say starting to come up, it's up pretty high, but it's starting to rev up a little bit like, hey, it's another day. It's another day. Pretty purple flowers down there. And then we're coming up on the Oconto River. And this is the bridge I told you about. Good morning to a Monarch. There's all kinds of runners out here. He's just doing his thing, isn't he? Well, we're gonna leave him alone. He's busy. See ya. So there you can see the river starting to come into view. And we've also got the highway coming into view. You see why people like to come on this trail, huh? Kind of like in Appleton when I took you there. Look at how shallow that water is. And I'm sure that mud and gook is probably a good 2 or 3 feet thick. But still. Imagine going down there with a canoe, and then you'd end up right where we started, down by that little park and by the campground. Kind of hooks down there. We've done some nice painting on here. Over here we can look on the other side of the bridge and look at all the murky water. It's kind of fun. Boy, I wasn't even paying attention. There's a canoe guy down there. He's probably fishing and he's going, why is that guy photographing, or why is he carrying his phone like that? We won't focus on him, we'll scare the fish away. Oh, we'll focus on him a little bit. It's kind of a cool shot. Pretty spectacular, isn't it? Pretty spectacular. And my friend Dick has been in this area for a long time, so he kind of told me the story of this farm over here that we're kind of looking at. Said how they expanded this building several times, and he doesn't know what they're using it for now, but who knows, maybe they do quilting in there. A couple of my quilting friends have studios, sewing studios. Isn't that cool with the reflections? Yeah, it is. They have sewing studios in refurbished barns. So if you come to Oconto, we can either do this walk together, which is longer than the causeway, or we can do the causeway. You pick. I'll do either one with you. Yeah. It's a popular spot right here. People will park underneath this overpass because it provides cover, obviously. And they'll go right over to the river and they'll do their fishing. Yeah. Kind of cool. So looking behind us again, you can kind of see the path that we came down off of the bridge. And we'll stay way to the side because this is a fairly busy road coming into town and going out of town. Don't you love robins? They're so fascinating. They'll kind of move forward a couple little small steps and they're listening. They're listening for the worms underneath the ground. Then all of a sudden they'll stop, they'll jam that beak into the ground and out comes a worm. Amazing how God has made them, isn't it? I think it is. I think it's, to be able to move along the grass like that and hear a worm moving underneath the ground, a couple inches or so. If our military forces could have that degree of observation and keenness, holy mackerel. And that robin doesn't even need technology. Nice open space out there, isn't it? Deep wooded area. Can only imagine all the wildlife that's out there teeming. You know, can wildlife teem, or is that just fish? Reminds me a little bit of my dad's place. I'm going to cross the road real quick here. Just go over by these. And maybe this isn't that impressive. Maybe you have wildflowers growing like this where you are. But we just seem to have a plethora of wildflowers. Even these little white ones right here that are almost something you could miss, aren't they? These little red ones. Yeah, so much to see, isn't there? So much to see. I should have taken my vitamins, and you wouldn't be listening to that rattle sound. Gives you kind of a rhythm though, doesn't it? Takes me back to my marching days in the military. No, we didn't carry vitamins in our pockets to have rhythm. We just had rhythm. Yeah, we did. Hey, if any of you want me to do a little cadence for you while I'm walking along here, let me know. Type it in the chat. I'm not looking at the chat, so I'm going to go on faith that you do want me to do it. Yeah. Before I do it, though, you can see right there it says Holtwood Campground. That is the backside of the campground we saw from the other side of the river. And this road right here, Holtwood Way, you can see right here, we've got Holtwood Way, we've got McDonald Street. We're walking on McDonald Street right now. But Holtwood Way leads straight down to the Christmas lights. That's where I took you for the Christmas lights, straight down that road. I didn't know we had a sporting complex. Oconto Holtwood Sporting Complex. That's kind of cool, huh? And we got a sidewalk, so I might as well walk on that, huh? Yeah. So if any of you are campers, Holtwood Campground is the campground that I've shown you several times that is right across the river by the Quick Trip. And you know how we've looked down the river a couple of times and we've seen that church? There's that church right over there. The steeple of the church, at least. It's probably in the 70s right now. I'm guessing around 74, 75. We're supposed to hit about 80, 81, 82 degrees today. And then I think the whole week is going to be in the 80s. That'd be something for you guys to Google while we're on this little walk. Most of the time when you see barns, and not all the time, but when you see barns, they're always red. Does anyone want to Google? Does anyone want to Google why that is? What's the significance of the red? Is it the only paint that they had back then? What's the story on that? I think the red fire hydrants is probably a different story. So if you're watching this and you live in a much bigger city than Oconto, you might be saying to yourself, other than Scott blah blah blahing, it's a really quiet city on a Saturday morning. And you'd be right. And it's not that people don't get up and go, they do. It's just that the neighborhoods are quiet. It's a place to return to refresh, to recharge. And they get wild sometimes. I mean, come on. This is a city where you can drive your RV on the road.
Oh, excuse me.
Good morning.
Morning.
Just doing a little recording.
Oh, that's all right.
How far do you go?
3 miles.
That's far enough.
Yeah, it is.
But your cities might be a lot louder than this one. There you can see the river over there. These houses that are on the left side, they border the river. Sometimes the river does rise up quite a bit. You remember I showed you those pictures of the river about 1.5 years ago that the ice kind of jammed up the river, and then it flooded the city. All the water from the river, instead of flowing down, backed up into the city. Thankfully, it never got to the workshop. It was probably, 150 yards, 200 yards away. And this building right in front of us right now, you can see the patio over there, is actually a restaurant that's for sale right now in Oconto. It borders the river exactly. When you're dining out there on the patio, you can be overlooking the river. Not that there's a lot to see, I mean, it's just water, but people pay a lot of money to be by water, don't they? Even if it's just to have a meal. It's kind of like one of our main drags here. And one of our four-way stops. We don't have a lot of four-way stops. We've got a couple of them. So this little restaurant right here that's for sale, if you're looking to buy a restaurant, it's known as River City Bar, but more commonly locals know it as Wise Guys. Kind of a clever name for a restaurant, right? Here's that patio, overlooks the water. You can even dock your boat here. You can dock your boat and you can walk up the stairs and have lunch and then return to your river ride. We're going over another bridge. See that? What do they say? Build a bridge, don't build a wall. Is that it? We're building bridges today, folks. We're building bridges. All right, I'm gonna be relatively quiet for the rest of the walk, so you can just kind of watch things, look at things. Spicy pickle fries. Has anyone ever had any of those? Cotton candy kabooms? I know I haven't. Yes, Oconto even has a subway. See that? There's that church coming up on the right side that we saw from the other side, from the bridge. We've seen it from the river by the park. We've seen it everywhere. That's the cool thing about churches is they're so tall. Most churches, older churches, especially Greek Orthodox, Catholic, and some of the other mainline type churches always have those really tall steeples. They're such a prominent fixture in the community, aren't they? Now, if you don't want to buy Wise Guys restaurant by the river there that has the patio and the boat dock and all that, you can buy a gas station. This gas station has been empty, I believe, for quite some time. That's the only sad thing about Oconto is there's a number of empty buildings. There's empty houses too. And I know the mayor is working hard to get things going, as is Sarah, the city administrator. They're a great team. They work really hard for the city. I hope they succeed, don't you? Because here we have another restaurant. Benjamin's Family Dining, pancakes, pasta, chicken, steaks, burgers. This one's also empty. So here's another restaurant you could buy. Just give Janice at Copperleaf a call. Yeah, Janice will sell it to you. She might even give you a deal. Thanks, Janice. See that building on the corner right there? The gentleman that